Leave it to IS to introduce a good quality of life feature and a horrible feature in the same update. It's the only semblance of balance in this game because they sure as hell aren't taking the same measurements with their game design. Hi, hello, welcome to today's Fire Emblem Heroes related video, where we take a colossal shit on intelligent systems. And you may be wondering why we're doing that. Is it related to a new unit or skill or anything around something new in general? Funnily enough, it's all about the olden units, the same ones that have inevitably lost value over the course of their lifespan. I think everyone is well aware that units will come and go as newer things release into the game, and nothing will last forever even with a remix or a refine, but even among the worst of their kind, they can usually do something with a modicum amount of investment or provide something of use. However, starting in version 8.9, you could say goodbye to that mindset because old legendaries, and I use the term old very loosely, will no longer provide any benefits to Arena. You know, the mode they were actively designed for. And you might be thinking to yourself, wow, that seems like a really stupid change. And guess what? It's because it is a stupid change. No longer will they be allowed in the bonus rotations, but instead they will be relegated to... who the fuck knows? If you want to continue making Arena bearable, then you gotta pull for the new legendaries. And I use new in quotation marks because you can't see my quotation marks. What's that? You didn't pull for the latest and greatest legendary? Well, I guess you could just eat shit. And I keep harping on the new part, you know, the one with the quotation marks that you can't see. But what exactly falls into the quotation mark new category? Well, if I direct you to what IS considers new legendaries, then you will see that it only includes the last 10 releases, which is very limited. In a game with dozens and dozens of legendary units released throughout the years, all of those heroes that you may have collected no longer contribute to the one active role and the one purpose they had going for them. But that's not even the best part. No, because it's only taking the latest 10 legendaries into account, which means the next time a legendary hero releases, somebody from this list will be removed. And given the current pace of releases, god damn, that's gonna happen way sooner than you may think. Because the current pace of legendary editions is about 3 months, given that they also have to cycle through emblems and mythics, a legendary unit that you may have had lying around may already just be worthless, and depending on when you pulled for any of these characters on this list, they may soon follow suit. And also, did I mention this extends into Aether Raids? Because if I didn't already mention it, there are also active bonuses in that mode until, you know, this upcoming update, which will no longer be the case. And really, I have to ask one thing. Who thought this was a good idea? Throughout the lifespan of this game, IS has had so many wonderful ideas in the past, including this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And every single time, they thought this would be the best course of action because we don't know any better. We're dumb fucking idiots. We can't read any of the skills and effects, so I guess we couldn't read their bullshit either. Look at this skill with 3 paragraphs. I only have basic elementary school comprehension. I can't read this. I guess I can't comprehend the update either. I'm a dumb fucking idiot. Oh my god, Lagoose, it looks like a lot of text. That must be pretty fucking good. Jesus Christ. And it seems like arbitrarily increasing arena scoring with random passives from a limited legendary banner such as High Dragon Ball wasn't enough of an incentive to push more people into spending, because that was a stunt they also pulled before this, which was already a bit of an issue on its own, but it didn't really become that widespread because, you know, it's just one passive. What's the big deal? But hey, I guess this was the next best thing they could think of because I guess, you know, they're gonna spend money, you know, now they have to pull for them. But, you know, if anything, it's actually pretty hilarious because there's a very good chance that this update will only make people spend less on the game. And I get our pool of legendary options are super low now and we've kind of burnt through all the popular picks, but thinking this was the best course of action is baffling insane and really makes me question why it's called intelligent systems and not dumbass repository. story. Let's think about this for a second. Why would anybody spend money on a new legendary unit when in X amount of time they will no longer work or function as their intended purpose? What exactly is the incentive to merging them up or even just pulling for a singular copy? It's not like the rewards are that much grander between many of the tiers, and at least with the older legendaries you could at least aim for them, but now you're basically fucked if you don't get the latest and greatest bullshit. So why even bother? And I think it's even crazier because the bridge to actually obtaining any of the new legendary heroes in a timely and beneficial manner is locked behind a subscription service. So not only would you need to spend $10 a month to get the latest and greatest at a guarantee, you also need to consistently keep up on these banners. So go spend some money, you stupid fucking dumbass, or fuck off. And you know, I guess this would also explain all of the legendaries and holo forms that we've been actively getting for over a year, spanning over a dozen legendaries by this point, which, you know, are now worthless. And granted, I'd argue that holo forms is mostly for select favorites and stuff, but how crazy is it that after several iterations of legendary options that the best time to implement the change is during the holo forms with 3 active legendary units that a lot of people are not going to pull for now. You can't even make this shit up. They're just fucking brain dead. It's crazy. And you know, since we're on the topic, holo forms, what even is the point in attempting to sell all these old legendaries now when they actively provide no value? At least there was an argument that could have been made while these old legendaries were being lined up. Yeah, they sucked, but they actively contributed to Arena, which was pretty helpful for what it was. But now they don't even have that argument. So by actively lining up many of these units for potential buyers, you've actively devalued Forma Souls as a whole. That can also extend into Binding Worlds as well, but that's more to a lesser extent since it's more of a free-for-all type deal. But they could have easily added another incentive to the arena instead of axing most of the old legendaries with a simple rotation system change. And yeah, that's technically what they did here, but this is on the opposite side of the spectrum on what you really wanted to do on that regard. Just add maybe just a different kind of bonus or something, but I guess that wouldn't have made them any money or not enough money in their eyes. At least by some point, a fair bit of these legendaries will also get remixes and refines, you know, to make them more competent at something, assuming it's good. But, you know, too bad. There's less of a reason to even pull for them now, even when they do get updated. Every time a legendary or mythic gets updated, they're put onto a banner with older legendaries and mythics that no longer could fit on the normal legendary banners, usually paired up with other units for a decent enough share to offset the value. But now there's even less of a point to summoning on those as well, because what could have easily been an incentive to possibly finishing up an older legendary unit you had lying around that, hey, it got a remix, I could get some merges and I could go for arena. Nope, that's gone now. And by actively devaluing older legendaries, they've simultaneously nuked the value of other money-making avenues, all in an attempt to sell modern legendaries that less people are likely to go for now due to this change, including the new legendary banners, because it's full of old legendaries. And if you so happen to roll one of those, then I guess you're fucked. And just when I think they didn't have any more middle fingers up their sleeve, they rained them down all over the diminishing player base that they continue to squander. There is no way the money they'd get from encouraging spending on these new legendaries is actively better than killing the value of most of their catalog. Actually, if anything, this is probably a really nice update because they're actively telling their player base not to fucking bother. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money, just fuck off. And you know what? That's pretty considerate of them. I'm gonna give them that. And you know what? Let's be real. I highly doubt any of the complaining that's going on right now is going to mean much to them since they probably don't care or speak English. But what exactly is stopping them from doing this to mythics or anything with a similar system? How do I know that anything I'm getting has any safe value at this point? This is just a disservice to anybody who's played the game or continues to play the game. Thanks for nothing. Do better.